All right, and then our tied 11th, the fan ranks at 10th. A team that we believe in, the people's champion, coming in last. How could it be, John, who they add, who they lose?
Well, they lost Khalil El-Medkar and Cristiano Francois and Tommy Williamson from attack. Keegan Hughes is gone from the back line, and then Isaiah Johnston left from the pivot. So far, we've only had like one proper transfer coming in via Moses Nyman in the midfield, somebody who Loudoun fans will be familiar with. And that's it. That's the only legit signing that we've had for Loudoun United so far.
Ryan, these are the people's champs. We believe in this team. We always convince ourselves. Should we be convincing ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, John said it pretty much very clearly that they've brought in like one person. This is a team that missed the playoffs by 6 points last year, so they were at least somewhat competitive. They had, at least the one thing that stuck out to me is they had a plus goal differential from missing the playoffs, which is at least noteworthy here. And like they still bring back a lot of that. They still bring back some of the players from that team, but like you really wanted to see like more signings, more people coming in, just something to like add some energy to the team. Like I think I recall a few recordings ago, we had a Loudoun United fan and Chad who said that this is kind of a make or break season for our well-dressed and sidelines manager, Ryan Martin. It seems like this is like, if this is going to be a make or break season, you would want the ownership group to just back his players or like back signings into the team somehow.
John, we look at this team, and you can talk yourself into players. I think McCabe made our All Leagues USL show team. You like what Ryan can put up top. Below is good for a couple of bangers every year because that's just what he does. Sundrich, I like him a lot. I like Dambrot. Faru is for my kind of rankings personally, top 3 goalkeeper in the league. Is that enough to carry this team into the final playoff spot in the East?
On the sly, I think like Loudoun was a top 5 defense in the league last season. People just forget that, and you're right to mention Hugo Faru as a major reason why. But Ryan Martin really found the mix in terms of like clamping down defensively. I think fans are a little bit pessimistic seeing the lack of business. And let's be real, like I'm sure Loudoun has signings that we don't know about yet. It's just the way things work, especially if you're trying to get international players. But if they can figure out the offense, it's going to be promising. And I think Ryan Martin really struck gold about halfway through last season when he decided on kind of going with that 4-man kind of boxy midfield shape where you've got McCabe and Skundrich at the base, feeding into the Abacoras, the Veloz. Riley Bedwall was quite good. Starting with that from the jump is going to be an awesome formula, allowing Awua and Tingy to fly up the wings. We know that's going to be good. Can Zach Ryan become the finisher this team needs? I think is a big question. But the tools are in place, provided, again, like a big if, that Loudoun gets a couple more players in towards the end of this preseason. I think they can push for it. If not, I think it's kind of a bafflingly inactive window for them.
Ryan, we have praised this Loudoun team for a lot. They are one of the fastest growing teams in terms of attendance. They have really pushed themselves in terms of how much they have built off the field. New ownership has just put so much new life into this team. And obviously, we can't expect the line to go up all the time because if we follow the graph, they'll be selling out every single match, right? We shouldn't assume that. But if this team gets more fans, which we should assume that they do, and they look like an average, if not above average crowd in the USL, do you think that's enough to really raise the standard, raise the game, if you will, of this Loudoun team?
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to talk about like just teams in the USL who are doing things well off the pitch, who are trying to grow. Loudoun's honestly gone under the radar in that sense that they're slowly building a fan base around this side here. And if you look at just from last season, one thing that I at least wanted to point out, their schedule and opponents notwithstanding, they went on an 8-match unbeaten run in the year, something that Rhode Island went on an 8-match unbeaten run, the longest unbeaten runs in the season. And from last season were 11 from Charleston and Sacramento. So to see a team who finished second bottom of their conference go 8 matches without a loss is very impressive. So they have the pieces there. They do the supports throughout the season. I mean, we talked about it previously that we love their 11 a.m. summer camp game during during the late summer. But
My favorite.
it's building off the field. You just really hope that having the additional fan support would just kind of encourage a lot more signings kind of moving forward into the team.
John, when you see what could go right for this team, like I asked you if what they have done is enough to make the playoffs. If everything goes right, what do you believe the ceiling of this team truly is?
That's a good question. I mean, I think we've often gone to the card of, oh, Loudoun is young, they're developing, we can kind of give them a pass. This is a team with a lot of veteran players and a lot of returning players at this point. And I think they deserve to have an onus of expectation on them. For me, the ceiling is probably playoff bubble. Like, I would be shocked beyond belief if they were even remotely in the mix for a home playoff game. But I think if you can peak out at maybe 6th place, that's a solid start and a solid move for a team that really has never been able to get into the playoff mix.
Ignore me as I'm trying actively to find out who the Mimosa Hour match of the year is. I don't think they have one. What are we doing, Loudoun? Loudoun.
I mean, the times may change, but yeah, I saw a lot of their schedules, at least on FootMob, were set to around 4 p.m. So TBD, I guess.
Lots of four. I was looking ahead schedule wise for March when my life ends. Like lots of 2 and 4 o'clock kickoffs this year, which I enjoy seeing.